Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta, a Vanderpump Rules podcast, season 11, episode 13. Let me tell when I tell you I was mad after watching this episode,
Oh, we
I
got
was
Mad Alicia.
mad.
She is back, baby.
A new idea for a show. I
Okay.
sit on a couch, you bring out a person from Vanderpump Rules, and I either praise them until they're crying with
Mm-hmm.
happiness, or I rip them to shreds and they're running away sobbing. That's the show. That's the show, Bravo. It's just me
uh,
sitting there. And they can try and make me cry too, but it's not going to fucking work. God, do
no.
I hate these people. Oh my God. That's
Oh,
my,
I
I
mean,
hate
just a
them.
fraction, I bet, of what we'll see from Alicia.
Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, be ready for what's to come. Before we get there, though, check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, which is also a Winter House podcast, and a Summer House Martha's Vineyard podcast. And we have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Meredith, we have a new review, and it's 2 stars.
Oh!
I got her.
Me clapping as if, like, of course, everybody gives us 5 stars.
No, it's
Womp
2
womp.
stars. But
Okay.
honestly, if you feel this way, you can leave more 2-star reviews because this I agreed with wholeheartedly and I regret nothing. So
Wait,
this is you'll see. This is from Norris the Cat, and it is titled "The Podcast for You If dot dot dot."
Oh.
Norris has a lot of opinions, so let's get into it. Norris says, I've tried and tried with this podcast, but I just don't know how much longer I can take it. This podcast is for you if, 1, you like to hear the 2 Toms constantly ridiculed.
Oh.
2, it gets worse. 2, worship the ground Katie walks on. 3, you think men are the root of all evil and women are virtuous beings beyond reproach. There is no objectivity at all. Everything the Toms do is wrong. How they put on their socks, wrong. How they brush their teeth, wrong. The shtick is old. The only reason I still listen is to hear the latest news on the cast members. So, hey, Norris, now that you're listening, you're right. The Toms suck. Katie's amazing.
Yeah.
And men are the root of all evil. Because I ask you, would you rather be stuck in a forest with a bear or a man? The bear, please. Thank you so much.
Please.
Also, we're part of the 4B movement now because we hate men that much. So you might just be mad you're not getting laid or something. I don't know. But welcome to our podcast.
Wait, I feel like that's the best advertisement for our podcast
ever. I know. I literally want this on a t-shirt.
I'm in. I want it like stitched into a t-shirt. Like,
yeah,
make
this was
it
amazing.
so fucking permanent.
So I read it and I went, wow, this is so perfect.
Yeah,
you're right.
Spot on.
Thanks so much, Norris. So
also, you shouldn't do things you don't want to do. Like, you don't have to hold on so tight to us. Like, we can let
you could probably Google what the cast is up to if you really hate us that much.
There's a lot of other ways to get that information. Like, if you don't like us, that's okay.
Let me tell you, Norris, after watching this episode, not only do I hate the Toms, I hate Jax, and those are 3 men full of evil. So let's talk about them, shall we?
And I still love Katie.
Still love her. Obsessed, actually. Thanks so much. Anyway, if you have thoughts on us and how we are man haters, please leave them in a review, and Meredith and I will add it to our t-shirt collection. Anyway, okay, back to what else you can get from us. So if you follow us on Instagram and TikTok, that's at Vanderpasta, Meredith's TikTok star. Go find her awesome TikToks. I'm less TikTok star because I just give my opinion on things that don't matter and then I leave.
That's perfect. I'm very inspired by the Taylor Swift album recently, so.
Yeah, all of those are Meredith. She's putting a lot of work into it and she loves every second of it. So go support her. Especially before TikTok gets banned. So
yeah, please. I'm putting in the back-breaking work. I'm cracking up at my work desk every day making these.
She just can't do the same in Reels. So please get on TikTok. Join our Patreon too. Patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get all of our fun pre-shows where Meredith and I and sometimes Sarah talk about whatever the hell we want. This week we started with therapy, probably, and our partnership.
Yes, and we were talking about like I can murder your whole family. Find out why.
Oh yeah, and we ended with the Taylor Swift album.
Yeah,
but the murder was in the middle of therapy and Taylor Swift because I see how those two connect. But the murder was in the middle.
Yeah. There was a decent amount of murder talk. Really top notch.
We love murder. So then we don't commit it, but we just love learning about it. So
I mean, I said I could in the episode. Find out why.
You heard it here first. Also, for $1 a month, you get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. For $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we go back and we watch old seasons, we'll do a Bravo after show to talk about current Bravo news. As to not give away spoilers on the podcast, but since this is a live season, we'll just say all the spoilers on this podcast.
Yeah, the spoilers are for you, Norris.
Oh, it's awesome. And then we'll also say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Allie, Chris, Darby, Dee, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Jennifer, Kirsten, Casey, Kelsey, Kirby, Chrissy, Lady Swamp Witch, Lauren, Lindsay with an I, Lindsay with a Y, Robin, Sammy, Sarah L, Sarah R, Tierney, Tonette, Tracy, Ann, Ashton, Emily, Gina, Isabella, Leanne, Lisa, Taylor, and Tara.
Yeah!
Amazing.
Alicia, you crushed it. And also, everybody on that list crushed it for joining our Patreon.
I know. Don't you guys love what you get?
Let us know. I'm having the most fun in Patreon world I've ever had.
Meredith had to chat me on Friday and be like, you have to go check out our Patreon because people are talking about you. And
I was like, people are legit talking about you in our $5 patron group chat.
I was drunk at brunch, but I still answered.
No shame. I knew I would forget to tell you.
That's fine. I answered. Yeah. Anyway, okay, and then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, when we're in live seasons, which is now for both Vanderpump and Summer House, I will post in the Patreon and ask for your thoughts, and we'll read them on the podcast. Also, we'll pick a patron of the episode. So this week's patron of the episode is going to be Lindsay with an I, because Lindsay, let me tell you, I watched this episode at, I started watching, I think at 5:45 a.m. And you joined the Patreon like at 6 a.m. And then you immediately like left a comment. And I was like, wow, dedication. But also you might have been up for like other reasons than taking notes on this show.
Wait.
So Lindsay, we were up together.
That's the thing is like you immediately get access to everything, like old shows, and like you can immediately comment on stuff. So come join and leave some comments.
Lindsay with an I, thank you so much. And also the reason I'm not saying last initials is because their last initials are literally the same.
Wait,
so that's Lindsay with an I, Lindsay with a Y.
Thanks for joining, Lindsay with an I.
So with that, let's get into the episode. So, previously on Vanderpump Rules, Jax and Sandoval are friends again. So, we love toxic men together, don't you, Norris?
Oh, my God.
James got hippie/Graham. Sandoval asked Schwartz to be his roommate, and Scheana made a new song about Sandoval, which, have you listened? It's a banger.
I tried to make a TikTok about it, and I couldn't get myself to do it. I'm sorry. I downloaded the entire music video and still haven't listened to it.
Okay, well, I listened a lot.
APPLES. That's all I know because of you.
I listened a lot, and it starts out like, saw you in the worst way, something. Like, it starts like that, da-da-da-da, and then it goes into, I thought you were faithful. Like, it goes into this different thing, and then it goes into this punk thing where it's like, da-na-na-na-na-na-na. And I was like, oh my, well, you know how I said it's like 4 different songs in the song? And then it cuts to APPLES. And I was like, and it played in this episode. Did you hear it?
I did, actually. So I have listened to it because I did clock that really quick. And I thought, I wonder if Scheana's getting any money from that. I highly doubt it.
You just need to listen once, Meredith. You'll be like, it's actually a banger.
Fine. So maybe I'll do a reaction video on TikTok of me listening to it.
I wish we could do a dual reaction because I'll just be there dancing.
So should I save it until you're here?
Oh my God. No, you should listen to it way before.
I was hoping I would get another 2 months without it.
Do your whole reaction video. Okay, so we open up the episode. We're at James and Allie's house. James is making music. Allie didn't sleep very well because Mr. Banks keeps meowing. And then we cut. We'll hear about that later. But we cut. Jax is at the gate. And I literally went, oh no.
Was like, since when are these two friends?
Oh no. What? You gave him your address? And then they talk about how Saturday is going to be a shit show because now that James and Jax are friends, they're going to do a brunch together where James is DJing and Jax is just on the poster. Even though the last time they basically saw each other, they hated each other, and they play one of my favorite clips where it's like, they need to take an order, Jax.
They need a cosmopolitan. Pumptini. Too good.
Yeah, so whatever. So they're doing this together. And Jax is like, ew, is Katie gonna be there? And James is like, probably. She's my bestie, actually. We're part of the wolf pack.
I have two things. One, the fact that James is the way every person on this show, gets reintroduced to the group or, invited to things is my favorite thing ever. James truly is the number one guy in this group. Jax wants to be on this show for this episode. He has to come through James. Obsessed.
Everyone must.
Obsessed. Also, why is Jax on this episode? This was stupid. The Valley's already been announced. This had no rhyme or reason to it outside of just a redemption arc for Jax Taylor.
For Sandoval. And Sandoval.
Not really, because they're not really
well, to be friends. They're friends again. They're friends. We love friends.
It's stupid. This was so stupid. I hated it so much. And I've just been riling up, in my home ever since I watched this about how stupid it is that Bravo is to back Jax Taylor and Sandoval. And this is why I made so many TikToks today, because I was just so fucking fed up with this show and this network doing the devil's work. I
agree. They really are backing the wrong horses, which makes me think they're not they didn't do their homework. No. I'm confused as to what they thought was going to happen. We were just
they thought that we would get amnesia and not really care what these two men did.
It's the year 2024. Yeah. We've had Barbie, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce. We don't like men anymore.
And we have TikTok to constantly pull up receipts about these stupid men's actions.
What in the hell? It's so stupid. Yeah. It's so
I could just spend this entire episode ranting about those two, so I'll move on for time's sake.
Great. So yeah, Jax hates Katie, and he mentions it because apparently Katie told everyone that Jax cheated on his wife, which I don't know why that would be surprising to him, but okay.
When did she do that? It didn't happen on this show, so why do we fucking care about a guy who's not on the show's rumors?
Also, he probably did. What are we mad about?
It's so funny watching what the editors and production put forth for us, and then us sitting here in modern day, April 2024, being oh, well, that's funny because Jax and Brittany are split up right now.
Oh, and he's in Canada with his publicist.
I can't even touch on that at that moment because I can't fathom what the fuck that man is doing behind the scenes.
I mean, we told her not to do it.
The sign fucking said, don't do it, Brittany.
So, James hopes this isn't true. That he hopes Jax didn't cheat on Brittany. But Jax doesn't exactly have the best past. And Katie and Jax are both telling James something. And James is gonna believe Katie. Because of history and trust. And Jax, though a truther, can sometimes be a liar and then a truther,
So who knows?
So Jax is unsure about Saturday because he also doesn't know where he sits with Lisa right now. And James is like, well, I think you just disrespected her way too many times. And Jax is like, I only literally called it my show. That's not that bad.
I can't.
And Jax also is like, I'm not going to bow down to Lisa. And James, being the bigger person, is like, why don't you just bring her flowers and say you're sorry? It's not that weird.
This is Lisa's show, or it was before she also got on my bad side. But she is a little irrelevant on the show. These are 30 to 40-year-olds we don't need, like, she's not their boss anymore. Like, the shift has come. So I'm not really mad at, like, what Jack said on that podcast, The Toast. Like, she's just a figurehead. That is so true. But Jax, you are coming on that figurehead show for your own gain. Show up with some freaking roses. Who cares?
I literally, fine, yeah, Lisa is irrelevant, but then why are you begging to do this
Yeah.
brunch with James so you can be back at Sir at Lisa's restaurant under the cameras for Lisa? Because it still is
Yeah.
Lisa's show, right? She's an executive producer and it's called
Mhm.
Vanderpump Rules. So, like, you're pathetic. But I mean, again, it's not surprising. It's just like, so like
It's kind of
I
like
knew.
Jax
Anyway,
not wanting to ever like talk to Andy Cohen, but be on his show. Like, who are you, Andy Cohen? And it's like, well, he's fucking Bravo.
He talks he talks tons of shit about Andy, but then begs Andy to be
what
on
Andy
Watch What
is
Happens
to
Live.
Bravo
Like,
is Lisa to
what the hell?
Vanderpump Rules.
Yeah, he's Jax. I think the money ran out, and he's like, I gotta get back.
It's so
on Bravo.
obvious, like how broke. Yeah, how
The
broke
money
they
ran
probably
out.
were.
Yeah. So then we go to Scheana and Brock's apartment. We got Summer Moon, number one girl in the group, and then Brittany shows up, and I again went,
I was
what?
like, don't do this to me twice. This is so stupid. We don't need these. It doesn't make sense. The last time I understood, they were spinning off at the Valley. What is the point of this?
Literally, Scheana just says they're so close.
Great.
And I was like,
go get coffee on your days off.
Bring back Tori or something. So Brittany though was like, hey Summer, how's your arm doing? And Summer Moon says, I want another x-ray. And I was like, my girl's not scared of anything. Anyway, so
I love her.
I love her. So Scheana says she doesn't want to be pregnant ever again because she doesn't want a chance dying, which I was like, wow, your OCD is crazy because that's what I think.
I was like, wait, what did I miss about Summer's birth? Because something tragic had happened. I don't watch the vlog, so I'm going to need somebody to go through the tapes.
I don't know if anything tragic happened, but I think like once you're older, it is like your pregnancies are more high risk.
Yeah, but she's not there yet.
But okay, also, listen, I have high anxiety about being pregnant, even though I've never been pregnant. I literally think if something goes wrong, I could honestly die.
Oh, absolutely. We have one of the highest mortality rates of maternal mortality rates of a developed country.
But like, what if now Sheena's like, well, with Summer Moon, I don't even want to leave her for a minute. Like,
let alone for life.
Her? Yeah, because I'm giving birth. Like, ooh. I feel like it might just be, and maybe there was something crazy that happened with Summer's birth, and I should look into that. But I also, just because I have anxiety, I was like, maybe her OCD is really sending her.
Do you think she would do a surrogate? Like, do you think she like is good
a surrogate?
With Summer?
I think would be great. Also, I think all of these like reality TV show people, instead of doing surrogate, should look into adoption. There's plenty of kids who would love to be adopted.
Love that idea.
You get like an Australian person if you want.
Okay.
There's plenty in the United States.
You know what? They should just like relink back up with Brock's original kids, though. The other two. They
probably should just get those kids first. Yeah,
that is an option as well.
So, okay, great. So also Sheena's explaining all of this, how she doesn't want to die while putting fake mascara on Summer Moon, who's not even comprehending that her mom just said she might die.
Because you pointed it out to me whenever Brock did it last time, I was all in on this, like powdering the face and the fake mascara. I
like that it's fake. I like that she's like, obviously we're not putting real makeup, but Summer's like, I love my makeup.
She's like, do my makeup.
Do it. So Brittany and Jax are officially trying for more kids this month. Thank goodness, Brittany. Aren't we glad that didn't happen for you?
The way she's like, hey, because over on the Valley, like they haven't banged in a month and a half. And she's like, hey, we're actually going to try. It's really despite me not wanting Jax and Brittany on this episode of Vanderpump Rules, I am loving the Valley. I just think it's really funny how those storylines are not making sense against each other because Jax and Brittany over on the Valley are not having sex.
Brittany's like, we're trying. And it's just them looking at each other and being like, do you think we could get pregnant without having sex? Because we don't really want to.
I think that's Jax's dream. It seems like he hates Brittany, but he wants
Oh,
more
he's
kids.
having sex with other women,
Oh,
probably.
yeah. But he probably wants more kids. It would be cool to have them in their marriage, but doesn't want to, like, have sex with Brittany.
Of course not. Okay, so Brock and Scheana have been at each other's throats lately. Brock yesterday asked Scheana for a date night for their anniversary, and Scheana was like, yeah, we're gonna have a big like party thing with everyone. And Brock was like, I thought we'd just hang out by ourselves because it's our anniversary. So now they had a miscommunication. So then we cut to a coffee shop where Brock is with his buddy Luke.
Okay.
And
another thing we didn't need is Brock on his own with a friend, not on the show.
it wasn't long enough for you to be mad. It's okay. It's just Brock being like, the same old, we need a nanny. I want to hang out with my wife.
I know, but it was just one on top of the other. We got Jax popping in, Brittany popping in, and then Brock on his own. I was like, where is this show going? It's not going a place I want to be.
It's madness. I know. We've gone this long and haven't seen Katie. Are you kidding me?
Can you believe it, Nexus? Is that the person's name?
Norris.
Nexus.
Norris, can you believe it? So whatever. What Brock also brings up is that Scheana's the main breadwinner, so it's bringing stress because Scheana like doesn't want to leave Summer, but she has to because she's the one making the money. But also she can't get a nanny, so then she also like Brock doesn't have the opportunity to like go find his passion so he can make more money.
Yeah.
And here Brock thought he was just going to be a farmer, and then he got a job playing rugby, and now he's had an app called Homebody, and now he's just chilling.
The way we went into that man's whole life story, I was like, sir, we're not as invested. I'm all in for you, like, wanting to keep yourself busy and have a job if that's what you want.
He just wants a purpose. Yeah.
Like, I think they should get a nanny, but like Brock, I don't care what your next step is. Because on the after show, he was like, I think I'm gonna get into movies. And I was like, no, I don't want to hear this story.
Immediately stop. I don't think, okay, because this kind of came up. I don't think Brock has a problem with Scheana being the breadwinner.
I don't think so either.
But I think he has a problem with like him feeling like he's not fulfilled in any way and also relying on Scheana. Like I would have an issue fully relying on someone and being like, I also want to help.
Yeah. It wouldn't matter how much money each person is like bringing in. I want to do something I'm excited about. I want to feel like I'm an individual.
I wouldn't find being like a stay-at-home parent fulfilling. That's just me. Yeah. I don't think Brock has an issue if he has to stay home, but I think that's just not fulfilling for him, and that's why he wants the nanny.
It's also not his choice to stay home. It's like he has to stay home because Scheana doesn't trust a nanny yet. So that kind of like it makes it more stifling and being like, ugh, like we can't get a nanny, so I have to stay home.
Yeah. So that's my opinion going forward as we discuss if Brock's upset or not. So we go back to Scheana and Brock's apartment, and Sheena's like, oh, maybe Brock's insecure because I have a huge income and he doesn't. And then she's like, it's probably really hard for him. And Brittany's like, oh my God, when I was making more money than Jax, we fought all the time because, you know, we're married to manly men. And I go, well, for Jax, that super checks out. But for Brock, he's out here wearing heels on the after show. He's a little more comfortable in his masculinity.
They talked about that on the after show. Crisis. Yes, I was like, and I don't think he looks good in that outfit. I don't mind him wearing heels. I think the outfit is just trash.
Agreed. But I don't think Brock is the same as Jax and manly men.
No,
Brock was putting mascara on his daughter the other episode. Like he's
when we say manly men, I'm like thinking of the scale of like Jax being misogynistic and probably being so upset Brittany is not just like in the kitchen at home.
Making him a sandwich, as he said in season 5.
Exactly. Yeah. Whereas like I'm sure like there is a little bit underlying for Brock being like, oh, I would love to be the breadwinner of the family, but I don't think it's like this, that's the pulsing thing in this frustration for him.
Yeah, I think he would love to support his family, and I think he would love to take, like, even if it's not pressure, being the breadwinner can cause a lot of pressure to be like, I have to do these things because I'm the one bringing in income. I'm sure Brock doesn't want Scheana feeling that pressure. So it'd be like, I also can just bring in some
Yep.
income. That'd be great.
Make it a little more
Anyway,
balanced.
so Scheana wonders why Brock can't be a stay-at-home dad. Why does he have to make money? And again, I was like, I just don't think he's fucking fulfilled. And again, I wouldn't want to be a stay-at-home parent either. I get it.
No, I don't want to be a parent, let alone a stay-at-home parent presently. That's just on me. That's me.
Same.
If that's your passion, that would make you happy though. Like, I totally
that's my passion.
Understand the stay-at-home moms who love like being with their kids.
Yeah,
I see you. I see that. And I think that is so wonderful. It isn't me, and that's okay.
It's not for me. And I just think it might not be for Brock. I don't think he's against it, but I think he's just like, it's not my
I also
choice.
wonder if people like look down on him because he's not a natural U.S. citizen. He has like back child to pay, you know, Scheana paid off. Like there's all this like mounting, like you're nothing, like people could probably say to him.
Yeah, maybe he just wants to be something.
Yeah, like he wants to like prove to himself, to other people, like he's successful too. And he has done stuff in the past, like his whole life story.
Like his app.
Stop.
He did Homebody. He had Jenna in his app, remember?
I
never forget
that app.
So, Scheana starts crying because her OCD and anxiety are so bad and she's not on Zoloft anymore because it made her feel too tired. And her intrusive thoughts are wild. She'll hear comments from probably commenters in the internet because we know she reads comments about Brock and Lala like hooking up. And I know she said it's in her vlog. Okay. I watched the vlogs and I told you, I was like, they live in a commune. Brock is a husband to both and it is so lovely. And I love how he's like a father figure for Ocean as well in that setting. I never was like, he's totally hooking up with Lala, but I bet people see that and are like,
people comment it. And once you see it and put the dots together, even if it's not real, like correlation isn't causation, but your brain can sure as hell make you think it is.
And then Scheana's like into bringing a nanny, which is a very classic.
If I was in this friend group, I would need some serious trauma work. Like, I really don't fault Scheana for any of these thoughts at all.
I don't either.
It breaks my heart because I would be Scheana. In this friend group, I would be Scheana.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, so then we go to a diner where shock. Schwartz and Katie meet up, and I went, excuse me.
Okay, I don't mind these two being like friends.
I don't either, but I wasn't prepared.
That's so true.
Anyway, there's a part of Katie that does really want a friendship with Schwartz. I mean, they dated for 12 plus years and were married for 6 of them. Like, I get it.
And, so, hey, Schwartz treats his friends way better than any, like, romantic partner. So, like, being his friend is the spot you want to be.
Yeah, he loves the pals, you know? So, Katie makes a comment on his hair, and then he's also like, oh, I'm going to get a tattoo also.
Oh, my God.
And Katie's like, no, that's great, but like, tell me more about the hair. And he's like, oh, Joe did it. And I posted a picture. And then Katie's like, yeah, and I commented, oh boy, on the picture. And everyone got mad at me. And Schwartz is like, no, I get it. But I've been really clear. I like don't want a girlfriend. So like, I don't know why people are mad about you because I'm not dating Joe. Also, we're taking a break from hanging out. Because she asked if I was embarrassed of her and my heart got sad. And Katie was like, okay, but that's your fault.
Yeah.
So
this is why I love Katie because her like annoyance for Joe doesn't overshadow that like Schwartz is still in the wrong. And like Katie can still see that.
I was afraid she was going to be like, you should be embarrassed with her. But then she heard his whole thing and she was like, well, it's your fault.
Also, like Joe is done this season, right? Like, did we ever see that she was at the finale?
I don't know, but she's pulling a Rachel where all she's doing now is fucking like riding the fame wave of this.
Here's my thing. You got to deposit a lot into this show to be able to take like Scheana and Lala do. I'm not mad at Scheana and Lala for making every freaking little podcast about it. But they have spent years of their life doing it. Like, you got to invest in this show and in this community.
Joe did an Instagram live. Did you see it?
No.
I just saw clips whatever, she was like commenting on it. She's like, I would do Lala's podcast. Lala's such a sweet girl. And then like me and Katie are cool. We're fine. We're friends. Schwartz is totally my soulmate, but we're just gonna have to take some time to find each other our ways back.
She said that
Meanwhile,
they're
Schwartz,
soulmates.
yeah, meanwhile, or like the other half or something like that.
Oh
Meanwhile,
my
Schwartz
God.
is dating a 23-year-old that he can't even tell he loves her on Nick Viall's podcast, and then she says it, and it's so awkward.
I wonder
And
if
he's
Joe.
barefoot with
I
dirty
wonder
feet.
if Vanderpump Joe listened to Taylor Swift's album and if that hit her
Probably.
hard.
Ah,
Talk
Joe,
about
you
needing to
good?
be in the situationship era. Joe.
Joe, you good? Actually, I'm gonna think of their situationship next time I listen to
I'm
the
gonna
album just to really get
cackle.
into it. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So, Schwartz asks about Katie's dating life. They both talk about how they have zero expectations. I mean, they just got divorced. They're really
I
kind of looking
know.
for stuff.
They're here for fun and flirty, and I'm here for them
Yeah.
with it.
Agreed. But he does ask Katie how her date with Tori went, and Katie's like, it went really good. Like, Tori definitely likes me better. And Schwartz is like, no way, because I got a cheeky little peck. And Katie's like, oh, that's all? I got tongue. And then they're both like, let's text Tori to see who she responds to
I
first.
love this.
And then, yeah, it was awesome. Schwartz thinks that Katie is pursuing Tori because it's Katie's way of telling him that she misses hanging out with him.
No.
I went, miss that mark. That mark is, wow.
The mental gymnastics he did to make him think that, like, oh, Katie's just hanging out with Tori because
For
she
sure.
misses me. I make everything about me the way Schwartz just made that date about himself. That's me. I feel that in my soul.
You are on a roll. You really compared yourself to Scheana and then to Schwartz.
I know. I'm just really seeing all these people's bad habits in myself.
You're seeing the underdog.
I'm like, wow, yeah, everybody is thinking about me. Like, they're just not inviting me because I'm just so incredible. They don't want me to overshadow.
That Taylor Swift album destroyed you, huh? Are you good?
No.
So then Tori texts them back. Schwartz got a text back at 1:29 and Katie got 1:31.
Katie's like rationalization that like, oh, but she just like went from top
It
to
made
bottom.
sense.
I believed it.
It made sense. Like his text
His name was
up
he
there,
was on
so she
top
went
because
first.
he came in second.
Also, if the person I like texts me and then like a friend of mine texts me, I'm gonna message my friend back first or the person I don't like because I'm more nervous to talk to the person that likes me.
You don't want to be so like
That was
quick
my
with the
thinking.
trigger. And
Yeah.
you're probably thinking like, oh, what am I gonna say to them?
Yeah, like I'm nervous. What does she want? You know? Anyway, let me tell you, if Katie texted me, I'd either A, respond immediately, or B, take 12 hours to think about
I
how
would
to
need a
respond.
few hours to collect
I would
myself.
probably cry, and Norris would never understand why.
Norris, this is why you can just stop listening now.
We'll start time stamping when we do updates. So then we go to Scheana and Brock. They are out to dinner. No phones at the table, so Scheana cannot give us a shenanigans vlog.
Oh, like, girly, it's already being recorded, so we don't need to vlog it.
I love her.
Her double recording is so funny to me. Like, I think it's interesting for you to vlog the things that are not on TV.
Scheana's just trying to get that bag, you know? So
she's working her ass off to be the breadwinner of this family.
So in really interesting news, Brock got a new shirt today, and Scheana thinks his booty is juicy. So they're having combos.
Oh,
anyway, so also just so we can note this, Scheana brought toys to the hotel room.
I'm like, were you planning on vlogging that too?
I hope so. I bet it's on OnlyFans and you pay for it, you know?
Yeah.
Our vlog. So Scheana says she's looking forward for this anniversary because they've been at each other's throats, and Brock is Sheena's person. But just in case he's not her person, she got a prenup. And I went, hell yeah,
finally,
we did.
You listened.
Also, she was like, I don't know where the prenup is. And I was like, it should be filed, so you should be fine.
Yeah, like, I feel like your lawyer would have it. I got kind of concerned when she said she didn't know where it was, because I'm like, did you sign it? If you don't know where it
You,
is and you did sign it, then like we're good. But if you guys never signed it, we're not good.
yeah, if we're signed, but to have a prenup, there's a copy with someone else for when you do get divorced. Like
I
your
think it's just a
lawyers probably have
contract.
it.
So like each party would have one. And yeah, I think your lawyer would probably request a copy. So
I'm giving everything to my lawyer if I ever get in reality TV. Okay, so they do agree they need more date nights. Brock doesn't know what he's doing right now, and he knows Scheana's the breadwinner, and it puts pressure on her. And Scheana says he does take pressure off of her by being with Summer, and he just needs to put that sports ego and manliness aside. I went sports ego. What is she talking about?
his like rugby and trying to be in the NFL mentality.
What? None of it made sense.
I will never actually lose sight of the fact that that man came to the U.S. trying to be in the NFL. I think it's the funniest
is it just
thing about
me,
him.
or is he a little tiny to be in the NFL?
I
He's
didn't
a
see
big
him.
dude. He just seems like a little, like I don't. Those NFL dudes could crush me.
I know. I agree. He seems smaller because he's like a kind of big dude around all these girls.
Yeah,
Like Sheena's
I
not a large person, and I don't feel like he looks like
she's
a giant next to her.
Yeah, I feel like an NFL player next to Scheana would fucking we'd know.
Yeah.
So Sheena's like, have you thought about this being your second chance at being a dad? And then you can just be the best dad you could ever be. And I went, wow.
What a dig!
Okay, Scheana. Happy fucking-versary, huh?
Too bad you didn't get that on the vlog.
My God.
I
She's
guessed.
like, instead of being sad you don't have a passion or a job, why don't you just try and be the best dad you could be because you were a bad dad back in the day?
Hey, instead of making money for our family, how about you just be grateful that you're no longer a deadbeat?
God. It gets worse every time I think about it. So they both start crying. And then Brock says it's really tough to think about the parent that he was with his first two kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he's working on building a relationship with his two older kids so he can go back into their lives. So like he's trying.
I think he is really genuine about that.
I don't think what he did was right.
No.
He was also 19 and his frontal lobe is not completely
very
formed.
factual.
And like, though, again, he was very wrong with his hopes and dreams of coming to the NFL. And he shouldn't have given up his kids for that dream.
No.
I respect him for working on his relationship now with his kids and doing what he can to win his way back into their hearts.
I also respect him not trying to the max, which sounds counterintuitive, because I've heard that the mom like doesn't want to disrupt the kid's life because they have like a dad figure stepdad in their life. And so I respect him kind of like willing to wait until his kids and like his ex-wife want them back in their life. Like it's up to them.
I agree. Yeah, completely agree. So Scheana says when Brock doesn't see his worth, it makes her feel like her and Summer aren't enough. And I was like, well, you just told him he was a bad dad back in the day, girlie. I don't know. But I get it. I think you're enough. But everyone has told him he sucks for a long time.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a passion right now. He thinks
you're enough as his family, but he needs to be enough as an independent human on his own. And that has nothing to do with you.
I truly now don't think he'll ever feel like enough until those two other kids welcome him back. And he might just have to live with like never feeling enough.
That's true.
So there's always going to be that. If he also doesn't have a career, like, he's just going to feel like less than, which is understandable. But so Brock brings up that they should maybe go to couples therapy. And I was like, yeah, probably.
Sounds like it.
But they love each other. So happy anniversary to them.
Yay.
Okay, so now Tom Schwartz. Oh my God, when I tell you this scene made me so angry. Tom Schwartz pulls up to Sandoval and Ariana's house to pick up Sandoval. Sandoval comes outside and he can't use the door. He just hops right into the car. Terrible. With a cig in his mouth, mind you.
I hated
And then
all of
we
this.
get an edit of them like two cool dudes in a
Bopping in the
convertible.
car.
I wrote it as two fucking morons driving to their midlife crisis, but either
Listen, if
one.
these weren't these two people, a
This would
great
have been fun.
transition scene.
If it was James and like Katie, oh my god, if Katie hopped in that car, I would have went. So Norris, you're right. Actually, the way they get in and out of cars, I do hate it. You're right. They can't do anything right. I
I
wish I could see them brush their teeth.
I know. I was like, man, did we see that when that list was going on? I was like, have we seen all those things?
I hope, because it's probably wrong. They have cavities.
I liked
Obviously.
the idea behind this. I feel like, Vanderpump has gotten fun on like the transitions and the storytelling aspect, but like not with
With
these two.
Schwartz's hair, I couldn't take it seriously. It was like flopping in the wind, you
This
know?
is the only thing I liked about all of this, because they were silent too. That helped.
Yeah. So they're going to get the tattoo, and then they pull up to the parlor, and they both cannot be bothered to use the doors. They both have to hop out.
Do you think
Like,
producers
two cool
gave them that
guys.
direction? Like, hey, can you redo that? Back up out of the parking spot, and I
No,
need you to
Sandoval
pull
went-
back in.
Sandoval went, did you see how cool I looked when I hopped in the car? We're
We
going
should
to
do
both
that.
do that at the same time.
Love.
Hop out. So, great. We're at the tattoo parlor. This hot tattoo artist is gonna put Gordo and Butters on Schwartz.
How do you feel about that?
Fine. I don't care. I mean, I think it's kind of stupid, but like, fine. It made more sense once he was like, I get all the loves of my life on me. So he got Katie as Bubba on his ass, and then on the other side of his ass, he got LVP, and now he has his dogs on his like back
I
shoulder.
wonder what his like 20-year-old girlfriend thinks of all of this.
Do you think he would ever remove the Bubba tattoo?
I think it's iconic. I feel like he can't.
I think he wouldn't just. I think he would be like, Katie was really important, and we're just gonna leave that.
Yeah.
Duh. Well, I think his 23-year-old girlfriend is probably like, this is ridiculous. And he was like, I've lived a lot of lives before you were even born. So, like,
True.
calm down.
I mean, to be honest, like for me, the LVP is more concerning.
That one's crazy. If I was Katie, I would have divorced him over that tattoo.
I would still be pissed about that to this day.
Same.
If I were Katie.
So, they talk about how they're going to go to San Francisco for Kyle Chen's whiskey release. Try saying
Alicia.
that 5 times fast.
I was like, this is how this finale party is being introduced.
Oh, that's this?
That's
Kyle
this.
Chen?
This episode is episode 13. I'm pretty sure 14 is the finale. I'm like, how are we getting to the finale? This just makes no sense to me.
I'm Googling his
The whiskey? Oh my god. I was like, doesn't Kyle Chen do like jewelry? What the fuck is this whiskey for?
It's called Gold Bar Whiskey Diamond Edition. It's $228.
Gold Bar Whiskey Diamond Edition?
It's $228.
Okay,
so that's that. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Anyway, great. So Sandoval makes a joke. He's like, me and Ariana are going to even sit together at the thing. And I like Schwartz being like, it's not funny, my guy.
Yeah.
Like, give it up. So then they're also like, Scheana's going to perform Good as Gold. And I was like, yeah.
Well, we got a flashback to like a tasting they did for this whiskey. And I'm like, why didn't we prioritize that scene?
In the jewelry store.
I mean, it was stupid, but I just feel like this finale is just being slapped on like no other.
It's terrible.
Pointless season.
Why is Kyle in this season?
Because Tom needed a friend.
Send him back. Return.
Send him back. Put it back in the box.
We don't need it. So, Schwartz asks if there's any updates on the house. Sandoval's like, we could still be roomies. And Schwartz is like, actually, no, thank you. I'm trying to make good financial decisions. And Sandoval's like, you should move in with me because I have a soda gun. And I was like, well,
the way Schwartz almost gets persuaded by the soda gun. Listen, I love soda with my whole heart. That would cause me to pause and be like, damn, how do I get a soda gun in my home?
Yeah. Just buy your own soda gun.
But I would never be like, yeah, let me move in with this man who is asking me to pay $6,000 in rent towards a house I don't have anything to do with just for a soda gun. No thanks.
How much do you think a soda gun is?
Just the thing, I would think like two
The whole
grand.
contraption. Yeah, anywhere from 1,500 to like 3,800.
And to be honest, in my home, I don't want a soda gun. Just give me one of those like at McDonald's machines. Like,
So already it's cheaper than Schwartz's rent would
yeah,
be.
it's
So
less. It's.
duh.
I mean, you can basically pay for it with the amount of rent you'd be saving in just 1 month.
Agreed. So then Sandoval falls off his chair, saves his
That
beer, thank God. His non-alcoholic beer, thank God.
that made me really happy. I felt that.
And then they play Apples by one Scheana Shay.
APPLES. How you
That's
like
karma.
'em.
That's karma. That's the part they start with. And I went, ha, look at what Bravo did. Okay, so now James and Allie go to Face Gym. I want to try Face Gym
I
so
wanna
bad.
do
There's one
it.
right down the street from me. In my work, I mean, but like right down the street, I want to go to Face Gym.
I wanna
Anyway,
go.
so James says he's all natural, no work done, but he does need to stay pretty.
Yeah.
He gives off pretty boy energy. And they talk about how they're planning to go to this wedding in Ohio. Ew. But anyway, James doesn't want to go because he doesn't want to leave Hippie with a stranger. And Allie's like, you have to give Hippie a chance to be watched by someone else.
Mhm.
And she's like, also, this is already an issue because we already don't sleep together because James sleeps with Hippie and Allie sleeps with the cats. And honestly, both are crazy. Tell your animals to stop sleeping in beds with you and sleep with each other.
I agree with that.
This is crazy.
Like, I'm not interested in animals sleeping in my room, let alone living in my home. But I feel for James. Like, I can see why he's nervous. I feel
I
like
didn't
if
get
Hippie
it till later.
if Hippie fucks up one time, I feel like that it could have caused like a social media storm.
Mhm. I get that. I didn't get his true fear until later.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of get it, but also
I don't get
I
missing the wedding, not at all. But I understand being like cautious about who's gonna watch him, what's
I think
happening.
Vanderpump Dogs could take him. I also
Mhm.
think, I mean, also maybe not, but would someone in the group be open to watching Hippie?
That's what I thought too. I was
Like, would
like,
Schwartz watch him?
because later we like have a conversation with the girlies, and I was like, I can't believe Katie wasn't like, I will help watch him.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. I mean, I can understand like Sheena and Lala because they have kids and like
Yeah.
Hippie's not known for being the most gentle.
Mhm.
But I was gonna say whoever has like Katie and Schwartz's dogs, the other one could take Hippie for that
Yeah.
weekend.
Or like,
That was just my idea.
yeah, there's like quite a few people where I was like, we can find someone. I didn't think this was going to be a major concern.
The fuck is Kyle Chen doing? He'd probably do it. Anyway, so then we go to Ariana and Sandoval's house. Ariana's walking in the gym that Sandoval loves so much. And then she's talking to Daniel on FaceTime. Daniel's gonna come. He's gonna go to San Fran with her, which is so fun.
Wait, I thought we were going to get Daniel earlier in the season. Like,
I do too.
I am kind of happier he's not in this really at all. He's just going to be in the finale. Like,
I agree. And I'm happy he is gonna show, but I think he's not interested in being on reality TV. So he was kind of like, also they're bi-coastal. So he's like, I'll just stay
Yeah.
here until you need me. Okay, and then Craig comes in, the new assistant, because he needs to grab a few things and also tell Ariana that Sandoval wants the gym, so if she could like get out. And then as soon as Craig leaves, Daniel's like, hey, you hear about the house yet? And Ariana's like, no, but Craig, the assistant, asked for the downstairs so they could have a meeting with the realtor. I was like, ooh. So she's like, I don't know, positives. Anyway, it doesn't matter because nothing happens on the house. Okay. So then we go to Sir. It's that Sir brunch with James and Jax, and the whole crew is here. And they're all going to maybe sit together, except Sandoval and Schwartz, I think, leave. But at first I was like, are we all going to sit together?
it seems like they made them walk by the girls' table. Also,
But,
did you hear that
No.
Ariana, like, she was at that LA Times, like, book thing, whatever, last weekend? And Ariana was like, when I was filming last season, like, I thought we were, the Spice Girls. I thought it was just, like, all this girl time, and we were all
Yeah, I saw
supportive.
this.
And I'm like, I see how you thought that. Like, all the scenes she's in, it's like always the girls just sitting together, like all the girls having good talk. Like, yeah, Katie and like Lala have gotten into it slightly, but like there's not any real discourse when all the girls are together.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking because she's like, now I'm watching it and hearing stuff and being like, oh, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
So, we see Schwartz's tat. It's cute. I think it's fine. I don't care, but cute tat. Okay, so Lisa's sitting with Guillermo, and she's like, Guillermo, what the fuck is Jax Taylor doing a brunch here for? And Guillermo's like, I don't know, but we're like over capacity, so that's a good thing. And she's like, no, great, but also how rude that he's on a flyer for my restaurant. And then James comes over and he's like, hey, Lisa. And Lisa's like, James, what the fuck is Jax doing a brunch here for? And Jax has been asking James, I guess. And Lisa's like, excuse me, it's my restaurant. And Lisa's mostly mad about like all of this because she gave Jax so many chances and all he did was talk shit about her on a podcast. So she's, which she did. She gave him a ton of chances, like more than we all wanted her to. Anyway, so here comes Jax. He struts through Sir. Heads turn if you looked in the background. I did. I was looking for someone to go, you know, like a.
Oh my God.
But Jax sits, or he goes, hey, Lisa. And she's like, so pissed. And then of course he's like, can I sit down if you don't mind? And Lisa's like, I kind of do mind because I don't even really want you to be here. And he sits down and she's like, you called me superbulous and other terrible things. And Jax is like, definitely didn't do that because I don't know that word. And I was like, honestly, though, that's a good defense.
It is a good defense. He didn't say that word. Like, Lisa, you don't need to make him sound smart. Like,
he's like, I never said that. And they had to Google it.
The way they get into the semantics that like, oh, he never said that word. And Lisa wouldn't just be like, okay, you basically said this meaning.
Jax goes, regardless, we could go back and forth on superbulous. And Lisa's like, I could have went to the press. Oh, wait. She says she could have gone on like podcasts into the press and been like, we didn't need Jax on the show. And I was like, honestly, it's been okay since the Sandoval. You really haven't needed Jax. I mean, when it first happened, it struggled, but you tried to introduce new characters. But like season 10 went pretty fine.
Yeah.
You were lucky, Lisa. You got a divorce and then a scandal. Like that really kept us going.
She was. I mean, we are pretty lucky the things that have happened. And it's not just Jax, like Kristen and Stassi, like all three of those are main players of the original cast. And they rightfully deserve to not be on the show moving forward. Yes. But yeah, I didn't like Lisa. This was so fake to me. Lisa being like, I can't believe you did this. Like, girlie, come on. You knew this was happening. Like, you're just playing this up for the cameras, which I understand, but like, do it right then. I didn't find this interesting.
I also didn't like Jax being like, you wrote us off because you haven't checked in with me.
Oh my God. She's not your actual mom. Like, you abandoned your actual mom.
And that's literally, wow. Podcast over. I can't finish the episode. So Jax says if he said something wrong in the heat of the moment, he's sorry. And Lisa's like,
classic apology.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but if you're going to put your name on my restaurant flyer, I'm going to say something. And then
why do we have like a planning meeting before this day even happened to like do this fake scene? Why are we doing this when brunch is actively going on?
Do we have to give this any more?
No.
Like okay.
I just hated this all.
Whatever. James and Jax do their DJ thing. And then Jax joins the girlies for the food. Katie and Ariana couldn't be less happy to see Jax. Katie specifically openly hates Jax. Ariana has never liked Jax either. I mean,
Ariana's kind of chuckling like, of course he's fucking back.
I think the thing is like, Jax and Katie actively hate each other. Mm-hmm. Ariana just thinks Jax is like a waste of space. So she's like, here he is, just taking my oxygen, I guess. And so Katie says, whenever someone's trying to sell you on how much they've changed, They probably really haven't changed that much, which is Jax's whole thing because every reunion he talks about how much he's changed. And then he
Yeah.
does the same shit. And so, like, yeah, he hasn't been on my TV, so I can't say he's changed or not. But I'm just going to say it's great timing
Very
that this
unlikely.
episode came out and he's saying he changed and he's in Montreal with his PR lady and him and Brittany are separated. And Brittany was the one that had to move out.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, and Brittany's going on all the publicity going, you can't reason with Jax. He won't listen to
Embarrassing.
me. He's the worst.
You know
Yeah,
what
so
this also made me think about because the Valley was on immediately after is Kristen's
what?
on the Valley then going like, I'm a good friend to you. I keep all your secrets. And I'm like, if you have to scream that you're keeping secrets, it kind of defeats the point of keeping secrets.
I'd be like, what secrets?
Yeah,
What
like you're
secrets are
drawing
people from
attention that
me?
there are secrets out there. And then
Yeah.
Kristen drops it at the end of the episode. I'm like, that's the more you scream it, the less valid it is, people.
Also, if you watch The Valley, Jax is the same piece of shit he's always been. I know The Valley's good TV. I don't want it to get renewed just so Jax can know he's a terrible person, you know?
That's a thing. I don't want Jax to profit off of that.
I want him to have zero success in life constantly.
Same.
Anyway, so Jax addresses Ariana and starts with, I'm not a gossiper.
I was like,
But-
all right, Jax, you're doing your job. Tell me the tea. Be a truther.
He changed. He's not a gossiper, but he asks Ariana if she's aware that Schwartz might be moving into her home. And we get a flashback to literally like 5 minutes ago when Schwartz told Jax and said, don't tell anyone. And Jax immediately goes,
God.
you know what? Be messy. And
he
so
found out in the back of Sir too. I was like,
which I'm sad we didn't get that because you know I love the back.
I'm like, this is iconic. This is a moment. All right, Jax, you're allowed to be on my screen again. This was worth it.
Loved it. So Ariana's like, look, once I get my money, I don't really care. This could turn into the Mojo Dojo Casa house until the dawn of the next century. Doesn't matter to me.
Love.
As long as I'm out.
And you know what that is? That's Ariana not having an ego.
Literally. Also, quote Barbie all day long. Amazed.
It was the summer of Barbie, and we got this season.
Yeah. Yeah. It was amazing. So James is gonna have people over. Jax is also invited. Katie wants to die the minute James is like, Jax, you too. And he's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Anyway, Lala then makes a joke. She's like, puts up her hand in the little phone and she's like, I gotta call my husband, make sure he's okay with it. And Katie giggles. And then Brock makes a joke and he's like, Lala, you're calling me. And Scheana clocks it. And I went, oh no. I literally went, oh no. Because it was a joke. They live in a commune.
I know.
I
know, but like
Scheana's intrusive thought.
What a bad joke. Lala, great to make the joke because she wasn't making it about Brock. Brock made it the joke about him, and she.
I think it's an okay joke. I just think with Scheana, like to me, if I didn't know Scheana was in the place, as a shenanigans vlog watcher, I would have been like, that's a funny joke because they are basically all three of them like married in a way.
But like, I think a huge thing about jokes is just knowing the context around where everybody's at. And like, had Sandoval never happened and they lived on the commune,
this would be a great joke.
I know. You can never joke about Lala or the nanny ever again, Brock. Like, you cannot do
crazy, that. But okay, so James invites Sandoval to his house for a pool party also. And James is like, hey, just so you know, I'm not angry with you. And Sandoval goes, that's good that you can recognize that. And
as if Sandoval just gave James a compliment.
Well, James, I love him. He's like, I have no problem. Well, James, here's the thing. The only way Sandoval's getting invited to stuff is when James invites him.
Yeah.
So he can't be mad at James, but James knows that, and he can continue to give Sandoval all the shit he wants. Because he says, you need to recognize how you sound, because in 6 months, you're going to see that you sounded like a fool. And Sandoval's face is dumbstruck. He doesn't know what to do.
What's sad is, like, that prophecy didn't come true. Like, we are still almost, like, we're 9 months from this stuff, and he still hasn't realized it.
I really think his brain cannot compute.
No, I agree. I truly think he sits there and his brain tells him that he's the victim of all of this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, great. So then we go to James and Allie's house because we're having a party. And you know what? Jax is raging because his wife is the babysitter. He's got a babysitter at home. My wife is watching it. Fuck her.
I
She better make me a sandwich when I get home, right,
If
guys?
Jax and Brittany are in couples therapy, I need the therapist to pull a reel of scenes and
Lying.
be like,
Everyone on Bravo who says they're in couples therapy, I don't trust you.
"No,
I don't.
I don't
I
trust
don't
you."
trust
And if you
you.
are legit in couples therapy, I don't trust your therapist. Actually,
I don't trust your
give me the name of those people so I never go.
I never.
It's the opposite of like
We
recommending someone. You are de-influencing me from going to that therapist.
So we can just never go to couples therapy in New York or LA at this point.
True.
That's a no for us. So Katie tells Lala, Scheana, and Ariana that she grabbed dinner because they're all inside chilling, having girls like a little powwow. She grabbed dinner with Allie, and Allie was telling her about how it's going with the cats and Hippie. Do they have more than one cat? We
I
only
think
ever see
two
Mr. Banks.
cats and one dog.
Is one cat just camera shy?
Maybe.
So it's just Mr. Banks and this other mystery cat. Anyway, so Allie talks about how she makes all these sacrifices, and James only really wants Harry, his brother, to watch the dogs. But like when Harry's out of town, who watches the dogs? So then James enters and they're like, "Hey, we're talking about you." And he's like, "Oh no." And so he sits down. And then Katie's like, "I was just saying what Allie said about Hippie." And James is very upset because he would rather stay home with Hippie. And Lala's like, "Okay, I get it." But then Allie suffers. And James recognizes this.
Mm-hmm.
But James says he's going to have an anxiety attack if he goes. And they tried telling him, like, we get it. We have animals and children. Lala specifically is like, "I have a child, bro." And I was like, calm down. But James, he starts getting really emotional because he doesn't trust anybody and he just got Hippie back and he can't let anything keep them apart. And this is where I got it. He is scared if he leaves Hippie, he will never see Hippie again. And he already did that once and he cannot do it again.
And he said on the after show that like he's worried that if Hippie watches him leave, Hippie will think he's never coming back.
Oh,
I know. How
did James
sad.
mention? Did he end up going to this wedding on the after show?
I'm not sure. Like
I hope
Allie
so,
was
because-
on Watch What Happens Live, and she didn't like mention it, but she talked about it in like the grander scheme of like, oh, James does prioritize me in the relationship. This was just like a very different moment. Like, but in the overarching relationship, Allie does get prioritized.
Okay, good. But like, I get it. But this is where I was like, Schwartz would totally take Hippie.
I know.
Might.
Well, I was like, if you see that James is in such bad shape, because he's like, James is tearing up saying he's like, will have anxiety if he's not.
He's having like a panic attack.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, I can't believe Katie wouldn't be like, I will watch Hippie. Like, you can trust me. Like, I've got this.
Part of me thought she might be going there because she kept trying to calm James down a little. But then Lala stepped up and she's like, "Don't compare your dog to my child."
What did you think about that?
Well, I was like, I don't think he was, but also like, listen, as me, Alicia, I don't really like animals or children, to be honest. I do think to me, children are just more important probably. But if I own an animal, my animal is more important than your child to me.
Yes.
Like that is more my child.
Because James,
and like
James did not bring the kids into it. Like Lala and Scheana brought it in.
They said we have animals and kids, we get it.
And all James kept saying is like, you guys don't get it. And I think he was talking about like what I'm dealing with when it comes to Hippie. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got so frustrated about this because I just feel not every parent is like this, but I feel like some parents will always make it that like their life is harder. And it's like, hey, it's all relative. Like for you, like you just said, like for James, like Hippie is more important than Ocean to James. So like focus on what is going on with James. Like why do you have to bring your kid into this? Your kid isn't the end all be all to every person.
Yeah, Lala did that with Katie too, where she was like, or she did it with Ariana, but I think Katie commented on it where she was like, Ariana, just move out of the house. It's not that hard. I did it and I'm fine. And Katie made a comment of like, well, she has a mom and a brother who both live here and help with child support or help with childcare. And like they all live in the same apartment building and like you have a support system. Who's Ariana relying on? Us. Like,
Yeah.
you know, kind of thing. So yeah, it made me like kind of roll my eyes because I was like, whatever.
I'm
Get
like, this
mad,
would
don't
fire
get
me
mad.
up if my friend said that to me.
Remember when she said she was being softer? What happened to that?
Again, she's only soft to the misogynistic assholes on this show. Like, she's not soft to her friends.
Well, fuck it. So Jax is getting drunk because Meredith, he's a dad. He's more important than you. He's a dad.
The way he keeps saying, like, I'm a dad. I'm like, okay, we got it.
It's like when someone just found out that they're going to have a baby and he's like, I'm a dad.
But like,
we know we've met your kid. It's
been 2 years. And like, I don't care. Why are you on my screen right now?
So then James asks Katie if she's talked to Jax yet. And Katie's like actively avoiding that. Thanks. And James is like, oh, well, here's what Jax said about you earlier at my house. And Katie's like, listen, all that happened was I found a picture on Reddit and there were plenty of rumors about Jax cheating on Brittany online. Mm-hmm. And so I just said that there are those rumors. And now Jax is blaming Katie for those rumors, which Katie's like, fine, whatever. So then Schwartz is here listening to all this and he's like, Jax, get over here.
Oh my God.
And he does. And then Katie's like, what are you on about? like just so
her energy.
What are you on about?
As like, and what do you want to say to me?
So then Jax was like, all I did was take a picture of a female or with a female. And right here, I just want to say, hear me out. Mm-hmm. Remember in One Tree Hill, when Nathan Scott takes a picture with a woman and then he gets accused of cheating and all this stuff. And he's telling Haley, I'll never forget it, in the kitchen. He's like, I didn't cheat. I didn't, like I promised. And Haley goes, but it looks bad. Yes. You taking that picture and agreeing to it at night alone, that looks bad. Mm-hmm. And you did that. And that is the same thing here. You may not have cheated, but you being a cheater
are putting yourself in a position of being questioned about like being a cheater.
Well, not only that, but but also you are a known cheater. You have cheated on every single person you have dated on reality TV for the past how many 12 years at this point?
Yeah.
And you've cheated on your wife before. Mm-hmm. This looks bad. And you know by taking a picture with what he calls a female, which is such an ick, he knows it looks bad. It just does.
And my thing is like
I'm angry.
I mean, this may be incorrect. Like, I don't fully believe this when it comes to like a court of law, but just, in the court of public opinion, like guilt screams, like he is actively screaming about this. And if you were so innocent, I feel like you wouldn't be so bothered.
Well, you can tell kind of when he's lying because he loves to deflect. Mm-hmm. These men have no brain cells to like make their own arguments.
He's so bad at it. He's out of practice.
Him and Sandoval are both terrible at it. And Schwartz, obviously, because Schwartz sucks at everything. But, like, Jax and Sandoval, particularly when they're deflecting, whatever you say to them, they'll just say back at you and say
I'm rubber,
louder.
you're glue. Whatever you say to me bounces off and sticks to you.
It's the same thing when you're like, you cheated on Ariana. And Sandoval is like, you cheated 8 years ago. And it's like, guy, just because you yell it at me, it doesn't mean you're off the hook.
Yeah.
So Katie's basically like, look, Jax, the internet talks about you. And Jax goes, it talks about you too. And Katie goes, good, I'm glad. Like, she's like, okay.
She's the definition of unbothered.
Well, if Jax Taylor's yelling at me, that's hilarious. I'd be like, all right.
She doesn't get riled up like she used to, though.
I support. Plus, now, King James, he's like, Jax, why are you getting angry? Mm-hmm. Like, what Katie is saying is valid. And like, good for James, because the only way shitty men listen is if other men tell them to stop. Mm-hmm. And James is here going like, don't yell at her. That's
James is, in my opinion, having the perfect season.
The perfect season, which I don't think has ever happened. But this is the perfect season. So then Jax is like, you're doing this to my family.
Oh my God.
Because he did nothing. So then Jax also is like, why don't you talk to Brittany? And Katie's like, honestly, because I don't like you.
Valid
And
reason.
she's married to you. And Jax is like, I don't like you either. And Katie goes, great.
And so we
So
don't need to be
align.
friends.
Why do you want me to reach out to your wife then? Like, idiot.
I don't want this. You don't want this. Sounds like we're on the same page here.
Also, this whole time, Katie's wearing a shirt that says boys lie, which is just, it's so good. Anyway, and she's like, why am I caring about this man? He has been so mean to me for years. And then everyone, like, the fight kind of dies down, but all the girls are like, Brittany would not be okay with the way he just spoke to you. And Katie's like, and this is why our friendship suffered. It's because of Jax. I don't like him. And I think the other thing is, right, if, hypothetically, Meredith, if you have a man and he ever kind of spoke to me like this or did all the things Jax has done to Katie and you still like stuck by his side, I wouldn't want to be around you. I'd be like, because I don't like him.
Agree. And it would be even more baffling if I was like shocked that we were not close friends.
If you associate with him constantly, like, why would I associate with you?
Well, like, I understand that Brittany and Jax are already married, so I can't be that mad with Brittany for like sticking with her husband, but Brittany shouldn't be mad at Katie when Katie can control being around him.
Also, I want everyone to know this is a valid reason to not be friends with someone. If you don't like their significant other that they're always going to back, just leave it. It's not worth it.
No.
I have been there and it is not worth it.
I'm even more annoyed by Jax's stance. Like, how could you do that? Like, you're doing this to my family because then, hopping right over back to the Valley, Jax did that on the episode right after Vanderpump Rules to another, like, husband and wife duo. Yep. He was like spouting about all these like cheating rumors.
Meredith, he for a whole season talked about how his wife hooked up with Kristen Doty. When she said stop, he wouldn't. He spread the rumor. He's the worst person in the whole world. Anyway,
he never really used to like get so mad about like rumors and talk on TV shows. The fact that he's like mad again, I'm like, why are you on my TV screen?
Go home.
Go home to your wife who's your babysitter and your son.
It's not it. Home. Okay, so then Schwartz pulls Ariana for a talk, which I'm surprised that she goes. But Schwartz is very happy that him and Ariana are fine. He goes, that means so much to me. You don't understand. But he does need to tell Ariana something. And Ariana's like, I already know. Jax told me. And Tom is shocked. He's like, what? I told him not to tell you.
Oh my God. I love how they giggle about it. They're like, of course Jax told.
I go, are you shocked though?
Oh my God.
He just expects the best out of the shittiest of people. And he's like, they didn't do the best.
It was kind of quick for Jax to immediately
Oh my God. It was
Jax
immediate.
Was like, there is a camera in front of me. How can I do my most destructive
I bet Schwartz just went to the bathroom and he's like, my whole poop, all he did was spill my beans?
Jax is like, oh my God, Schwartz is occupied. I have 3 minutes to spill everything.
Done. Yeah. So Schwartz says he's not going to live in her house, mostly because he can't afford it. Because Sandoval would be refinancing the home for 10%, which ends up being $22,000.
More, which is so expensive.
But he does ask, he's like, would you hate me if I moved into your house? And Ariana says no, because she goes, once I'm out, someone's got to pay that mortgage. And Schwartz is like, oh my God, I'm so happy you wouldn't be friends. Or you wouldn't be mad. We would still be friends.
I thought that was so funny because there's more of a diss to Sandoval. Like, of course he's not going to float that thing.
Yeah, so he's using you. Like, get it known, broski. Yeah. So then Sandoval and, of course, Kyle Chen, star of season 11, show up. And oh my God, Sandoval sees Hippie and he goes, quote, if I ever talk to your mommy again, I'll tell her you said hi. And I want it to be known that as I'm watching this at 6 a.m., I thought he said, if I ever fuck your mommy again. And I went, what? And I rewatched it and I was like,
my God.
Oh, because there was no bleep, but I was so tired. And I was like,
I cannot
unnecessary.
believe that man put stuff like this on on camera. Like,
Does
he
he
is
think it's well
so
received?
he
What
is
does he think?
so aware of cameras and stuff. His entire world is this show that he knows exactly what's going on. I think he thinks he's being cute. And like, I still think he believes, like, oh, when cameras go down, Rachel will come back to him because cameras are down. Like, she'll think this is so sweet whenever this comes out.
Oh my god, like actually can't. Actually, did anyone check Rachel's podcast? Did she say something about this?
I mean, it'll be in next week's because she would have watched it.
I'll be
Same
on the
with
lookout,
us.
I guess. So then Scheana, she's like, "Hey, I want to put down Summer Moon for bed." And Brock's like, "We have a babysitter, so we can stay out and have fun times." And she's like, "I don't want fun times. I want to put my kid to bed." And he's like, "The fuck?" And she goes, "Do you want a slice of Pizza Hut pizza?" And he goes, "No."
The way she moves on to the pizza. My sister's this way. She always wanted to put her kids to bed. And like, I'm not a mom, so like, I don't have this tingling feeling to be like, get me to my children
I'm
by
Brock.
9 p.m.
I'm like, let's stay.
Yeah, that's how my brother-in-law is. So oftentimes they would like drive separately, so then my brother-in-law could
Oh,
stay
sweet.
longer. And like, it was important to my sister. My brother-in-law didn't really care, but like, they made it work for them. I don't know how far away Burbank is from like Sheena's house, but in my mind, I'm like, dude,
drive
Uber
separate.
home. Just like Uber home.
Just drive said.
Yeah,
just
you can
or
go
someone
home
could give you a
separately.
ride. Someone could give you Lala could give you a ride. She's sober.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
It'll be fine. But I also think Scheana and Brock need to come to that understanding where he's like,
I
if it's
know.
important to you, you go home, and important to me, I will stay back.
Yes.
Because he stays at home all day with Summer. So
Yeah,
he's like, I'm out and about.
we're at a party. Yeah. It's getting lit. I'm in the pool. Like, I want to hang.
Yeah, so they argue, across the party. Scheana just wants these moments to read Summer Moon a Halloween book.
By the way, it's like August.
We're preparing, Meredith.
Maybe
like, Summer Moon's a spooky
October.
kid. Maybe
guess.
she's hanging out with Stassi's kid a little bit too much.
Yeah, she's hanging out with Hartford a little too much.
Yeah,
talking about
love Graves too.
Yeah.
Stassi lets them watch like
Hocus
Dateline
Pocus
and Summer Moon's. Those two things are different. The first 48, and Summer's like, no, I'm into it.
They know who John O'Keefe is.
Well, Scheana just makes her watch like Bluey, and she's like, ugh, this shit sucks. But then I've actually heard Bluey's good. But
Bluey
then
slaps.
Stassi's
I will give him to that.
I've heard Bluey's great. But then you have at Stassi's house, they get to fall asleep to like
horror movies,
Paranormal Activity. Yeah, whatever. And Summer's like, that's it. Anyway, so great. Ariana's like, oh no, Sheena's upset. I have to go check on her. But then Sandoval like slithers in, and she does one of those
like,
never mind. So Scheana tells Kyle that she's very excited for San Francisco because she's going to do 2 songs. I wonder which 2. We know one. What's the surprise song?
It's good as Golden Apples, obviously.
I hope it's apples.
Maybe I'll actually get the full song. I'm gonna wait till to the finale, and if it's not on that, then I'll listen to it on its own. Okay?
My God, I hope so. So she asked Sandoval if he's heard her song, and he says, yeah, and it's not about the song that he's upset about. It's Scheana specifically doing this is a lot for him. And Scheana goes, I understand, but I came at this from like what you and Raquel did, and it fucked me up. So I had trauma. I put it in a song, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, I mean, the friendship died and there was a restraining order on me. So I wrote a song about how stupid you guys are kind of thing. And Sandoval's like, you were way more reactive than Ariana. And Sheena's like, well, you at the reunion mentioned my restraining order and spread lies about me.
Maybe you should have just shut the fuck up.
You should have shut up. And Sandoval's like, all you had to do, though, was not do that. And Scheana was like, what the fuck? And then Sandoval says Scheana is actually not involved in this. She didn't get cheated on. And Sheena's like, I had a full-ass restraining order against me.
I'm so baffled by that, man, because one, like, why are we policing how people react? Like, Ariana has chosen to kind of, like, not ever go on podcasts, like, not talk about this publicly, not release songs. Like, that's her prerogative. But everybody else in this group was a part of this. So why can't they react how they want to? And Scheana was, I really want to back her up that she was the like second most involved outside of Ariana. Like I
She
even
was
think above James.
I do too, because she was really good friends with Raquel. I would say better
Mhm.
friends than Ariana was with Raquel.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, she has been good friends, as we know, with Sandoval for 13 years because they
Yep.
did press in New York and he was the only one that talked to her. Anyway, that's not important. But
She was
she
there
was
at the scene of the crime on Rachel's
she
side of
was
things.
with her.
Yep.
She was with her
Copped a
when she found
restraining
out.
order.
Yes. She and now that we know her OCD was running rampant, she
Mhm.
probably was like, what if I never get to see my kid again? Like she was probably spiraling.
Oh my god, she probably thought she would like this would affect her parental rights.
Then she goes to this reunion. She has to sit 100 feet away, so she can't even be there the whole time.
Still insane that happened.
And Sandoval continues to spit on her name.
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw a tweet that was like, because when Scheana like starts yelling at him, they go, "This is the closest Sheena's ever come to making a fist," because she couldn't make a fist to punch Rachel.
Dying.
And I was cracking up. Anyway, so Scheana was affected, and we all capitalize on it. You and I fucking capitalized
Absolutely.
off Sandoval.
My thing is though, if Sandoval never went on any podcasts and never started his own podcast, he could talk to me from a high horse a little bit about like, I can't believe you're monetizing off of my pain. If he never did anything, I would understand that argument a little bit more.
But he did, and he's trying. He's also just. Then he also says, "You're not the biggest victim, Scheana." And I was like,
"Of course,
you're
she's not
the biggest victim either." And she says, "She's like, I'm not."
Yeah.
She wrote a fucking song, and that's about it. And listen, it's not even her number one song. Calm down.
He's about to make it her number one song with how much he's attacking it.
Literally, just out of spite. I'm only going to listen to that song. No, I'm just kidding. But then Brock steps in, thank God, because as we know, shitty men only listen to other men. Mm-hmm. And Sandoval's like, Scheana, you making this song is equivalent to me stepping on Kyle's shoe and him burning my house down. And I went,
no.
Again, we're really missing marks this episode. Just not anywhere near where we need to go.
No, it's you stepping on his shoes and you making a podcast about it. That's what it is. It's just a podcast. Nobody's dying here.
Burning his house down.
Like, nobody did a criminal act. They just talked about it.
She just made a song. She didn't even mention you by name. Even if it's obvious. It's fine.
Like, don't be honored. Come on, you're a musician. Don't you understand diss tracks? Come on.
Well, Brock goes, time out on this. And he goes, Sandoval, you were singing about the scandal. Like, you were Schwartzy's mom and like talking about Raquel in there. And Sandoval goes, that's not even remotely close. And I go, that is literally
exactly what happened.
Saying song about Sandoval. She's saying song about Sandoval. What?
Oh, because she wrote it maybe she did or didn't write it herself, but because it's original and she didn't just dub words over an already existing song. Okay, you're right. It is a little different because hers is better. You're right.
Hers is, yeah, at least she wrote it. He's though upset that they're acting more entitled to talk about events in his life than he is.
No, they're not.
I go, you are talking. They can all talk about it.
You have a mouth. We did not sew your mouth shut. You have been talking a hell of a lot, sir.
Who said you're the only one who could talk about it? If you're not talking about it enough, why don't you talk about it more? If
and we are on a TV show.
Like,
we're on a show together.
Also, the events in your life had collateral damage to the group around you, which is why we're now filming really awkwardly. Okay? Yeah. Like, this happened to everyone. Because the whole dynamic of the show you're all on, because you're all coworkers, fucking changed terribly. Yeah. So everyone's dealing with that. And Scheana wrote a song called Apples. It's not that serious.
Like, you're drawing more attention to it than it needs.
It's a banger, okay? So then...
I still haven't listened to it.
Well, Scheana goes, do you know how fucked up this has all made me. Like, I have thoughts of Brock and Lala because of what you did. And my dude James, he pops in and he goes, ditto, Scheana, I have those thoughts too.
I
And
love
I'm
him
like,
validating her.
Validating her because Sandoval would probably say, like, that doesn't count.
You're making this
again,
about you.
A man didn't step up and say, me too.
Mm-hmm.
But also, James was like a little too excited. And I think he's like pumped to talk to Scheana about this later. He was like, me too, me too, me too.
I wonder if he was like, wait a minute. I thought I was crazy. He probably never said it out loud to like Allie because you don't want your partner to think you're like thinking about your ex.
Allie's in the kitchen, like, excuse me. And also, Lala was sitting with Ariana and Katie, and she was like, what? Mm-hmm. But I bet Lala knew because Scheana reads comments. Yeah, but like Lala was a little like, oh no. So then Scheana is done. She's like, I would like to go home. And Sandoval go like as Sheena's walking away, he goes, God, Scheana, I don't know why you're so mad. You've been the other woman. And Scheana, oh my God, my girl is mad. She's mad. Can we just really quick talk about, let's parallel again. Scheana was 21 and she was, sure, the other woman. She in her story, she didn't know that Eddie had a wife and a family.
Yeah.
Sandoval was Eddie. He was the dude that was actively cheating.
Knew all the information.
Partner. Yeah, he knew all the information, but also so did his affair partner. Like, Eddie's the bad guy in Sheena's scenario.
Yes.
Sandoval's the bad guy, but also Raquel knew. So they're both bad guys.
Like, Scheana was never friends with Brandy and openly hung out with Brandy. I would say, like, Lala and Scheana are similar situations, and Lala is a step worse than even Scheana is because, like, I think Lala knew Randall was married. That's just my personal belief.
Randall told, again, I think it's an age thing, but Randall also told her, like, I'm leaving my wife, and you choose. But like,
those are apples to apples. Sandoval, you are an orange.
Even though you have a song about you called apples, you know?
Okay, I'm sorry. Sandoval, you're an apple, and the girlies over there are oranges.
Literally.
How you like them.
But like, in all the scenarios, the man that cheats, right? It was Eddie was the bad guy. Randall was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Sandoval, you're the bad guy.
Yes.
You're the one who did. You can't compare this to Scheana. You can't be like, you should understand where I'm coming from.
Even like the age thing, like how long ago this was, like, none of this tracks, and it is so deeply upsetting. I mean, I knew he would do this. We all knew he was going to do this because, like, Rachel did this at the reunion with like Lala and James, with even them like sleeping together. Like, they will pull any card about cheating out to make theirs okay. What I am most disappointed about is that like Scheana thought that she could have a friendship with this man, like, and the fact that Scheana has hung out with Sandoval after he has said this to her.
Yeah, because I think she has a somewhat friendship.
Like, what is their energy going to be at the reunion? Because Scheana said that Sandoval has never done anything to her. When he has, here's another thing that he has now done to you.
Yeah, this was terrible. So Sheena's mad now. Brock thankfully steps in and he's like, you were like in your situation, you were 40, Sandoval, you need to stop. The girls are like, oh, fuck no, you know? And Scheana storms off. She is angry, but she does look at Allie and she goes, sorry for yelling in your house.
Oh, that was so sweet.
Allie's probably like, it's okay, but she follows her out. And Ariana also follows Scheana out. And Brock is yelling at Sandoval and telling him to figure it out. I love Brock stepping up. I do.
Yeah.
Because again, though I think Scheana can handle her shit, I do think these are really shitty men who will continue to say shitty things unless like a man also steps up and is like, you're fucked up.
I agree. It's just upsetting that they only recognize it for like Scheana, because where were they when they were doing this to Ariana? Like, are we going to actually start to realize who Sandoval is? Probably not, because when the reunion comes around, like, are we going to keep this energy?
James is the only one. James is literally the only one. We've seen him step up before. Mm-hmm. We've seen him have Ariana's back. He stepped up this episode alone for Katie. Like, perfect episode. So Scheana is sobbing. James yells at Sandoval and he's like, you can't keep bringing up the past. And Sandoval's like, well, actually 6 months ago is also the past, so let's move on. And I went,
Oh my God.
I want to smack him. This is where I was angry because I know that you can't argue with crazy. You're never going to get anywhere. And that's what
Yeah.
would happen if I argued with Sandoval. But like, I just want to look him in the eye and be like, you're a fucking idiot. You know that? Like, we don't like you. The people don't enjoy you. We don't support you. We don't enjoy what you have to say. You're terrible. And I want to be like, what don't you understand about what we're saying?
I
Like, but it would be like a Nick
genuinely
Viall podcast. It'd be like nothing would be there.
I genuinely want this show to end and for Sandoval to not be on the Valley. I
I
would
want him to
rather
have no
not
income.
get enjoyment out of these shows than for Sandoval to get a paycheck.
Same. I don't want him to have any kind of success.
I want him to not know peace or happiness a day in his life.
I agree. And it's like we could have probably gotten over this cheating scandal.
I know.
Honestly,
I could have looked past it.
If at the reunion you honestly had apologized to every single person there and you said like this was bad, this was a bad decision and I fucked up and that is on me, and you looked at James and you said I lied to you, I'm a terrible friend, you like looked at Scheana and you said I am so sorry about the restraining order, and you were really truly genuine, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
You could have even been like half genuine and like gone on an apology tour for 6 months and still been like shitty to women, just not about this topic, and we would have forgiven you. Because guess what? That's who Jax Taylor is. Jax Taylor literally did that.
About you.
Kristen did it. Like, we have seen this. We have gotten past this. It took some time and it took a little bit of groveling and an I'm so sorry at a reunion, but like, we got over it.
I agree. I think he's a fucking idiot. Honestly, I don't know who his PR person is, but if he had just shut the fuck up about it, we wouldn't even be here.
I was honestly starting to like kind of forget about it and think he was getting better on
did too.
The dredging up of old things. I really thought he was on the up and up.
I think Bravo was really banking on that.
Dude, every week I'm like, are they going to have him on Watch What Happens Live? And every week it's a no.
They had Allie before they had him. Jesus Christ, you know? Okay, let's do accepted and blocked.
Can we just obviously block?
Does Jax not count?
I feel like we shouldn't give him that honor.
He's not a member. Yeah, we're blocking Sandoval. He is just we don't even have to go into it. Okay, so for accepted, I feel like there's a lot of people I really loved this episode. Do you have a person?
I do. I'm going with James. Okay. James is
Perfect
literally the girls are in a gold gated pasture, and James is the gate to being friends with the girls. And I love that for him. He's not trapping them in by any means. He's like maybe he's a gate around the terrible men. I just love that he is the core of this group. He is like friends with every single person. He is the reason like Jax has to come groveling back, like, and like come to James's doorstep. I really enjoy it. And I appreciate him being like really vulnerable about Hippie, even though like he's making the wrong decision if he doesn't go to that wedding. Like, I feel for him and like, it feels very real. And I just like love him so dearly. Like, crazy where he has come in the last, 6 seasons.
I'm so glad that you picked James. His perfect season's really on the up and up. So I was gonna pick honorable mention to Katie, but I'm gonna give it, I think, to Scheana. I like her being open and honest, not only about her OCD, but also her afraid to be pregnant because she might die, but also she's really open about her fear now with Brock and Lala. And I think that's like, right, if I said that out loud, people could be like, well, that's a dumb thing to be scared of. Yeah. But it's very real for her, and I like her coming forward about it, and I like her being validated by James in that aspect. I also like her trying to work things out with Brock. And I like, truthfully, Sheena's not one to have a backbone, in all honesty. Yeah. But I like when Sandoval came at her for her song, she was like, it's just a fucking song and you need to calm down, and you did all of this. And she stuck by what she was saying, and I enjoyed that.
I think Scheana can have small moments of time of having
Moments.
a backbone. I don't think she knows how to keep it in her back.
No. But I liked in this scenario, and I wish I knew in present day she kept this
Yeah.
because this was a shitty thing for him to say.
Yes, every time she's gotten upset this season, I am on her side. I just need her to keep that
Yeah.
energy. She has like amnesia and it like quickly forgets. She has short-term memory
She does.
loss.
She doesn't have.
Like
She's the
she
opposite of Katie.
quickly moves on.
The opposite of my girl Katie.
Mhm.
Okay, so Norris, I didn't pick Katie just for you, but don't think I won't pick her for the finale. Ariana and Katie are probably high picks for the finale, so just
They
know.
could murder someone right in front of me and I would pick them. It's incredible.
As long as it's a toxic man, I'm in. Anyway, so we have some thoughts for Podcast by the People. Lindsay with an I says, I feel crazy after watching the fight between Scheana and Sandoval. I love how James chimed in to back up Scheana about having crazy thoughts about your partner cheating. I felt validated for having the same crazy thoughts after Sandoval. Oh no, you
I bet
did.
a lot of people did.
Scheana, stop explaining yourself to Tom when it comes to you being the other woman. We know that situation wasn't the same and the worm doesn't care either way. Agree. Yeah. I don't think Sandoval computes. Honestly, I don't think he gets
I
it.
think
But
he just grabs a sticky note off the wall of his mind and just throws it out there.
Yeah. But Lindsay with an I am very sorry that you had those thoughts after Sandoval. That's very not fun. You deserve better.
Hope they've floated away since.
I know, right? Okay, so then Sarah L says, overall good episode, nice. I think it had a little bit of old school VPR feel, but perhaps that was combination of Sir, Lisa, and Jax. Something About Her is opening next month. Yes, in May.
May 22nd.
Remember when we saw that TikTok that said that it was all fake for the show, and we were both like, "Oh my god, did we get duped?"
You know what? I hold my hand up and I say, I believed maybe false reports, and I'm so sorry for doubting you, Ariana and Katie.
Wait, really quick, what was our idea? Remember, we were like, "Oh, something about her," but then we were like making up ideas for not sandwich shops, but because we love to eat, we were like making up different ideas.
Oh, Unapologetically Full.
Oh, that was it.
The name of it? Yeah, no, I'll never forget that.
Unapologetically Full. That was us.
So catch our Z-rated sandwich shop in 20 years.
We're going to have 2 merch lines. One is the terrible review we got, but that was so good. And the other is Unapologetically Full for no reason other than we love to eat and be full all the time. If we're not full, we're not happy, you know?
That's when we pass the spaghetti. We start that podcast.
Oh my God, that was a great podcast idea. So, okay, Sarah says, when James was playing his little music thing in the garage, I can't lie, I initially thought it was a fart noise. It was fart noises, ma'am. It was EDM.
I didn't listen.
I enjoyed seeing Jax appear randomly peering over James's gate like that awkward neighbor that peers over the fence in sitcoms. I will never not hit replay over the scene where James shouts, "Pumptini!" James had sound for Jax, but can Jax be the bigger person? I wasn't sure, but I don't know. Lisa had to kind of throw in a snide remark at the end when they met at Sir, so maybe he was. They both sucked. Given that I just saw Jax in the previous scene, I was weirdly really surprised to see Brittany show up with Scheana. Why was I surprised? I have no idea. I didn't really like Scheana talking about Brock in front of Summer Moon. I always hear things like, kids don't know, they won't remember. But honestly, I believe that babies and toddlers absorb everything, even if they don't quite know what they're absorbing. Think about it. They're learning to walk, how to talk, and how to behave in public, use table manners, etc. They're also learning how to behave towards people. Yes, but also Summer Moon is unbothered. She does not care. Scheana was literally like, I might die if I have another kid, and she was like, can you put my mascara on, please? So maybe the trauma will come later for Summer Moon. You know? Ocean,
that is something to be concerned about for sure. I think about that with my own life a lot. And I tell my sister to never fight in front of her kids, but who am I? I'm not a parent, but I think about that stuff too.
Meredith.
Unrelated to Summer Moon. Summer Moon's like, can you just do my makeup? Please.
Like Ocean, I think, would clock that and be like, what?
Ocean's a little sneaky one in the corner, like listening to everything, I
Summer
bet.
Moon is planning her to murder. She loves murder. She's
Summer Moon
unbothered.
is the
She's chill.
center of everybody's galaxy.
Of
Like,
my
she
world.
is the middle.
Yes. So now, speaking of Brock, I would like to call attention to his self-described career trajectory. Dairy farmer, rugby player, eyes on the horizon.
Oh my God.
I loved it. Anyway, so back to Scheana. I really hope that she's gone off medication based on and in conjunction with her doctor's advice. You can't mess around with that sort of thing. I felt sympathy for her anxious, unhelpful mind with Brock and the nanny. Like, could you imagine if your husband left you for the nanny?
I would struggle. Honestly,
Look,
just like a significant other cheating on me would like send me in a spiral.
Look, this is what you do. Hire an ugly nanny. Problem
Ooh.
solved. Sure. Also, One Tree Hill, they had to look for a nanny because Nanny Carey was cheating with Nathan. So
I do love the chaos that did throw into that show.
Okay. LMAO at Tom Schwartz saying that Katie went out with Tori because deep down she just wanted to keep hanging out with him. Do you guys think he was joking or is he actually delusional? I think he was kind of joking, probably, but like thought it was funny, and he's like, "I'm going to say it."
I think he thinks it's endearing that Katie would like go after. I still think he centers himself in Katie's actions.
Sure, but also I think he's like, she probably finds Tori hot a little bit. Yeah. Sarah says, honestly, I love that entire scene. It was great to see them smile and laugh together. If this were a drama, there would be so many fanfics about them getting back together. We already saw it, though. We know what happened. Fanfic is for things that I imagine that have never happened. This, if I want to know what happens, I just need to look at seasons 1 through 10.
It would have to be where Katie steps into an alternate universe where Schwartz is
a better person.
A good guy for her.
Yeah. Sarah says when Brock and Scheana were at dinner together and Scheana brought up the toys, I chuckled so hard at how Brock shut it down. Do you think he was uncomfortable because of the toys or because Scheana brought it up on camera? Overall, I loved Brock. Australian men don't like to show tears. Cute. Oh, I love that for Brock. Okay, James Kennedy has turned into Scheana with his reaction to leaving Hippie behind. I had a little LMAO moment. Oh my God, really? I was really touched by it.
I was so touched by it. James can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah. So, favorite moment in the episode, Schwartz to Jax. Please don't tell anybody. Jax, I'm not going to tell anybody. 4 minutes later. By the way, why did Ariana have a cloth napkin on her chest? Oh, she didn't want to spill her food on her awesome outfit. That's what I think.
I need to do that more often. I literally just... Yeah. I mean, I even spilled on my shirt tonight.
We're unapologetically full Meredith. Our shirts are going to get ruined.
Unapologetically messy, too.
And what could be a podcast first? I disagree with Lala when she said that James was always first in the relationship. I do feel that James and Allie are on an even keel. Part of me was hoping that one of the girls would offer to look after Hippie and send James photos all the time, set up a Ring camera so he can beam in and watch. I think he'd be okay with leaving him. I agree. Also, I do think James and Allie are probably even in the relationship, but I did watch a video of them both performing on a stage, and I would just like to say James definitely has way more stage presence than Allie. She was really suffering out there.
People in the comments were trying to say, like, oh, she was stiff because it was like a kid's performance, and I was like, your girlie is just, she's kind of a shot on the shyer side, I would say. So I just don't think
James James exudes star power. Yes. You know? Allie doesn't. I think she could be a star, but she doesn't exude it in her everyday life. Yeah. Anyway, okay, she has her audacity list. So things that Tom Sandoval had the audacity to do this week. 1, wear that ugly shirt to Sir. The 1970s called, and even they said to burn it. Oh, 2, wear a little lightning bolt earring, please. Ew. 3, wear those ugly ass clothes and get into that ugly ass retro car with Schwartz. What kind of statement was Homeboy trying to make? 4, that terrible and embarrassing dance in the ugly ass retro car. If he was trying to impress women, then he's about 30 to 40 years late. 5, not vocalizing any accountability when he was talking to James at Sir. 6, say thank you and accept the apologies of the others so graciously while refusing any form of accountability. And last but not least, 7, throwing that fucking jab at Scheana about being the mistress. He fucking unlocked Shishi at that point.
Oh my
He's
God.
lucky she didn't fucking smack him across the face out of reflex because I would have. Sandoval is a tit for tat asshole who does not and never will get it. Agreed. Okay, blocked. Sandoval, fuck that man. Accepted. Katie!
Woo! Dang, I'm surprised by that one.
Okay, and then Lauren says, this week I'm feeling concerned for myself because I enjoyed Schwartz. What the hell, guys? Schwartz was enjoyable.
He wasn't bad.
It was fine.
That's okay.
I blame Katie. She makes him better. Agreed. That was it. You're right. Immediately. Yes, 100%. Their chat at the diner was adorable. Katie seemed more relaxed than she has all season, and that made me so happy for her. And Schwartz attempting to dance in the car, hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He and Ariana had a nice moment. You're right. Actually, Schwartz had a great episode. Why didn't we accept him?
Because we hate all men. Remember, Norris?
Yeah. Except James. Except James. Problematic Schwartz did not make an appearance in that episode that I remember, and it was almost enough to make me forget he hates Katie deep down. I think now that they're friends, he likes his pal.
I also don't think he doesn't, or he wants things he can't have too. So
yes, Katie will never. Well, we see him. Oh my God! Did I not do next time on?
I don't. Was there a next time on?
Yeah, we'll finish this up and then I'll do a quick next time on. I'm so sorry, everyone. Okay, Lauren says other best moments was a smile on James's face when he said that he believed Katie over Jax about the cheating rumors. I mean, accepted Katie because I can't bring myself to accept Schwartz. Block Sandoval. I know he's low-hanging fruit, but he's truly an ass who doesn't deserve anyone's time or energy. Fuck off. I agree. Okay, I am so sorry. Next time on. Because I was about to say, we saw something on next time on. Daniel is here. We're going to San Francisco. Sandoval's ready to give Dan the lowdown on Ariana, just like she did with that girl whose name escapes me that he went on a date with that one time. Schwartz then asked Katie for a one-time hookup, like a one-time sexcapade, and she laughs at him. He does want what he can't have.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So we did the episode. I'm so sorry again that I forgot the next time on.
No worries. You caught up before we signed off.
I was just hating men so much in this moment.
I needed to roll right into who I was blocking.
I couldn't stop. Okay, but do all the things that I mentioned. Thank you so much again for listening and all your support. We really appreciate it. Meredith, have anything else before I give us James's famous quote that I love so much?
No, thanks for joining.
All right. Well, as James Kennedy said, forget what you heard and remember where you heard it first.
Bye.